at parity. But then third quarter and fourth quarter, again, Inland Empire growing slightly faster than California. Here we can see it on a county by county basis rather than comparing Inland Empire to California as a whole. Let's look at other counties. And as you can see, it dropped only 11.3% versus steeper losses in other counties, particularly steep in those areas like Orange County that are more dependent on tourism, Disneyland, and so on. So in a way, Inland Empire was more resilient, was not as hard hit by the COVID recession because its industries were in different areas of activity. And perhaps the most important of those areas in the Inland Empire, which is an important distribution hub for goods and services, trade with the Pacific Rim, getting those goods to market. And as you can see, wholesale trade, you can see very rapid growth here, but even during the COVID hit, it was more resilient. It only dropped at most around about 5%. And so already, third quarter on a year-to-year basis, it's already higher employment than it was the prior year. And its wholesale trade did a whole lot better in terms of maintaining higher growth and also not dropping as much during the worst of the COVID crisis. So for overall, for the Inland Empire, you can see this growth disparity in 19. In 20, we can see that the Inland Empire grew more slowly than the U.S. as a whole, but more rapidly than California on average. And in 21, we see again the Inland Empire is beginning to move up in terms of its growth, more so than California and the U.S., but getting back to that growth disparity of almost 2 to 1. Cumulative change in employment by the end of this year, our forecast calls for jobs. Its income will be higher than last year by the end of this year. But in terms of jobs, overall jobs in the Inland Empire will be about 4% lower than it was prior to the COVID recession. But California will be about 5% down. So again, speaks to Inland Empire's greater resiliency during the COVID recession and its slightly faster pickup in terms of growth. Housing will be very strong. In the Inland Empire, we're forecasting that total residential permits, that includes multifamily as well as single family, is going to be increasing 16.1% up to 16.6 thousand units. That's a big gain, representing maybe 15% of the overall state. Housing appreciation, another big year, not as much as 20. Look at almost 10% appreciation in Inland Empire last year during a recession year, and this year another 6.4%. Huge appreciation, and as you can see here, it is having a negative impact on housing affordability, which it peaked last year at 126. By the end of this year, this increase here is mainly as a result of lower mortgage rates, but by the end of 2021, with mortgage rates staying relatively flat, the impact of the higher housing prices is bringing down overall affordability. Nonetheless, that 117 means that median family income in the Inland Empire is about 17% higher than what is necessary to qualify for the purchase of a median-priced home. In Orange County, it's closer to around 80, which means that it's 20% lower than what is necessary to buy a median price in Orange County. So even with this drop in affordability, it's one of the more affordable areas in California to purchase a home. And that's having an impact, a very significant impact on migration patterns. One of the more worrisome aspects of California that I see is on the demographic side, that we're losing. More people are moving out of California to other states than moving in. The most recent statistic, it's to the tune of 250,000 more people move out of California than move in. These are the counties with that net outflow being more than 5,000. And as you can see here, some areas like Los Angeles lost more than 100,000 people. So maybe 40% of the total loss, net loss in migration in California came from LA. A lot of lost manufacturing jobs. Orange County lost 30,000. But interestingly, as you can see here, San Bernardino lost about 8,600 negative. So San Bernardino was negative. But you know what? That 8,000 is about average for the states because the state lost 250,000. So on a county by county basis, San Bernardino's loss was, nothing to get super excited about or devastated or depressed about because that was about the average loss in California. That 8,000 figure you could see here graphically, that San Bernardino since 2011 has been losing more people to other counties, states, than people moving into San Bernardino. But look at Riverside County. Riverside County has been positive. The only county, one of the only counties, there have only been a few that have positive net in-migration in California, and most recently it was 7,400. That was the highest net positive in-migration for any county in the state of California.